Okay, let's unpack this. If you've been watching the business world, maybe especially over the last year or so, you've probably felt it too. Things are changing really fast. Faster, maybe, than almost anything we've seen before.
Definitely. The pace is something else.
So today, we're diving deep into an area where this acceleration is, well, it's really obvious. The intersection of artificial intelligence and procurement. It's fascinating stuff.
It really is.
And you sent us a whole stack of materials, research reports, industry insights, even details on a specific company that seems to be right at the forefront of this whole shift.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive, well, it's pretty clear. We want to pull out the most important nuggets of knowledge from all that.
Exactly.
The goal is for you, the listener, to get not just what's happening, but really why it matters and maybe how it could reshape, business operations down the line.
Yeah, how it could actually change things.
We're going to explore what some are calling a golden age for AI in procurement. And then, we'll zero in on one company that's doing something particularly interesting, taking this really holistic, integrated approach.
Okay, sounds good. So let's kick off with a fact that really jumped out from the research you shared.
Yeah.
AI adoption in procurement. I mean, it's hit unprecedented levels in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of 2024, something like 76% of procurement organizations were expected to be using AI capabilities. And that trend apparently has just accelerated dramatically through 2025.
It's a surge, absolutely, not just a gradual climb.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating here, I think, is just the sheer speed, especially when you compare it to, past tech adoption.
Like e-procurement, right? That took ages.
Exactly. Traditional e-procurement systems. Gosh, it feels like ancient history now, but it took nearly 3 decades, almost 30 years, to get to 60% adoption.
Wow.
AI integration. It's happening incredibly fast. And the data sort of tells us why. It's just much more accessible. Well, it's continuously being embedded, kind of woven into the existing procurement tech stacks, often without needing these massive, disruptive, rip and replace projects.
Okay, so it's slots in easier.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
AI is now like the starting point for a lot of new tech deployments in this space.
So it's not just the adoption numbers, it's the actual impact we need to talk about. But what's the biggest misunderstanding you think companies still have about what AI can really do in procurement, even with these stats?
That is a great question. I think many still see it mostly as a cost-cutting tool,
Yeah.
automate the boring stuff, the repetitive tasks.
Which it does, right?
Oh, absolutely. It definitely
Yeah.
delivers on efficiency. But the deeper insight, I think, from the sources you sent is that it's moving beyond just being a nice-to-have efficiency booster.
Okay.
It's actually transforming procurement, taking it from being seen as just a cost center to becoming more of a strategic intelligence hub.
Strategic intelligence.
By actively shaping business agility, competitive advantage, the company's really leaning into AI and procurement. They're seeing significant real-world results that go way beyond just simple savings. It's kind of redefining what procurement can even achieve.
And generative AI specifically, I mean, the momentum there seems huge.
That's reliable.
The materials highlighted, 49% of procurement teams piloted Gen AI in 2024.
Which is more than double the year before. It was 23% then.
That's a massive jump. And across the board, 89% of executives are pushing Gen AI initiatives forward in different business functions.
Right. So imagine the possibilities for your own work, your organization, when you see that kind of rapid integration and, crucially, that executive buy-in.
Yeah, it's moving past just trying it out.
Exactly. It's becoming strategic implementation.
So where does it go next? What's the horizon?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting, I think. We're starting to look ahead to what the research is calling the next frontier, these adaptive intelligence systems.
Adaptive, meaning they learn.
Exactly. They aren't just static tools. They continuously learn, they evolve. And the big promise here, especially with the rise of agentic AI.
Agentic AI, explain that a bit.
Okay, so think of systems that aren't just reacting based on rules we program in. They're capable of more autonomous decision-making, problem-solving on their own.
Okay, proactive systems.
Right. And that capability is what's fueling this talk of a golden age for procurement. We're talking about AI that could intelligently select high-value suppliers, maybe predict risks, and enable truly proactive decisions.
It's especially needed now, right, with global supply chains being so volatile.
Precisely. In what everyone agrees is an increasingly complex and unpredictable global business environment.
The sources use this phrase, lowest risk, highest reward, for AI-driven sourcing. That sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah, it's a powerful statement.
So for our listeners, why do the sources say that? What makes it low risk, high reward? And are there still pitfalls?
Well, it's powerful because the return on investment, the ROI, can be so immediate and, importantly, quantifiable. The sources mention AI-driven sourcing already delivering around 20% cost savings. That's significant.
Okay, that's the high reward part. What about low risk?
The low-risk bit comes largely from its ability to integrate often without those massive system overhauls we talked about. It can augment existing processes.
Right, the no rip and replace idea again.
Exactly. And the high reward is also just the sheer volume of data these systems can process and optimize compared to what humans can do alone. The pitfall.
Yeah.
Maybe underestimating its strategic potential. Limiting it to just being a transactional tool, not seeing the bigger picture, or not investing enough in the quality of the data you feed it. Garbage in, garbage out still applies, even with AI.
Makes sense.
But the urgency is real. Companies that don't embrace this shift, they genuinely risk falling behind. The market's changing fast. AI isn't some future thing anymore. It's here now, reshaping competition.
Okay, so that's the big picture on AI in procurement. Huge changes happening fast. Now, let's pivot a bit. You mentioned a specific company in the materials, ProcSolve.
Right.
Let's talk about them. Because they seem to be trying to address some of these modern business pain points we've touched on, but in a very specific, integrated way.
Yeah, ProcSolve's core mission, based on the materials you shared, is really tackling three major interconnected challenges that, frankly, a lot of businesses are facing, often without even realizing how linked these problems are.
Okay, one of the three.
So first, there's procurement itself. Companies often rely on these disconnected, maybe off-the-shelf systems.
Right.
Different tools, different teams, not talking to each other efficiently.
Leading to silos.
Exactly. Inefficient, siloed processes, which means missed opportunities, hidden costs, you name it.
Okay, beyond just frustration, what's the sort of hidden, maybe insidious cost to these disconnected systems? The thing businesses don't easily see.
The insidious cost. I'd say it's the loss of strategic agility. When your data isn't flowing smoothly between procurement and technology, and maybe even creative or marketing, you just can't make fast, informed decisions. You're always playing catch up.
Right. Okay, so procurement is one. What's the second?
Second is technology. Businesses wrestle with these fragmented tech stacks, lots of different software, maybe poorly integrated, and often their internal tech teams get stuck in maintenance mode.
Just keeping the lights on.
Pretty much. Prioritizing contract extensions, maybe, over genuine problem solving or really engaging with the people who use the systems every day. It becomes reactive, not proactive.
Yeah.
And that definitely hinders innovation.
And the third piece, you mentioned creativity.
Yeah, creativity. This one often gets overlooked in these kinds of business process discussions, doesn't it?
The die.
Organizations might get these bursts of creativity, a great campaign from one agency, a cool design from another, but it's often just one-off stuff.
Disconnected.
Totally disconnected. It fails to build into a consistent, evolving, impactful brand narrative over time. It's like building a house one brick at a time, but every brick comes from a different architect.
Okay, I get the picture. Disjointed.
Right, for the customer and for the business itself. So that's the setup, these three big, often siloed problem areas.
And ProcSolve tries to tackle all three.
That's their pitch. They have this unique, flexible, three-pronged approach. And what's clever, I think, is that you can use these solutions together for a big transformation, or just pick the one you need most right now.
Okay, so what are the prongs?
So first, their procurement solutions. This involves customized advisory services, but also turnkey services. They aim to find those hidden savings we talked about, and also help shield companies from legal or compliance risks.
And the sources mentioned something about incentives.
Yes, that's a standout point. They are apparently incentivized to save you money. They call it consulting with software. And it includes AI-driven vendor management systems designed specifically to break down those data silos.
Okay, interesting model. What's the second prong?
Technology solutions. And the key differentiator here, according to the materials, is that they build bespoke solutions, just for you, the client, not generic, off-the-shelf stuff.
Tailor-made?
Exactly.
No.
It's not about forcing you into a pre-made box. It's about crafting something for your specific needs. And importantly, they incorporate bleeding-edge tech, including those agentic systems we discussed earlier. That's a real commitment to innovation.
Right, not just maintaining, but actually building cutting-edge stuff.
Yeah.
And the third, creativity.
Yep, creative solutions. And this is all about dynamic, storytelling-based campaigns. It's not just about aesthetics, making things look nice. It's about genuinely elevating your brand's presence and engagement by crafting narratives that are unique to your brand and ensuring that story is told consistently and impactfully over time. Building that coherent narrative, we said, was often missing.
And you mentioned this phrase, no rip and replace. I mean, frankly, that sounds like music to the ears of any IT director who's lived through a big system migration.
Oh, absolutely.
It lowers the barrier to trying something new, doesn't it?
Massively. And that really ties into what the sources highlight as ProcSolve's core differentiator, their agent-augmented service model.
Agent augmented.
It basically packages those key elements, cost savings, speed, insight, into what they call a turnkey layer that snaps into your existing workflows.
Snaps in.
Yeah, and that's the crucial part. No rip and replace required. Businesses can start getting these benefits, this integration, without tearing down everything they already have. That's huge. It's about augmentation, adding capability, not just disrupting everything. It's a potential game changer for a lot of companies.
So that brings us neatly to the why now question. The sources had this phrase, businesses are unwittingly shopping for silos.
Yeah, I like that phrase.
It rings true, doesn't it? Splitting budgets, best design agency over here, cheapest outsourcing provider over there, various tech teams. You end up with disconnected services. Maybe it's a habit that's just not sustainable anymore.
I think that's exactly the point. This fragmentation creates a kind of market vacuum. And that's where ProcSolve seems to be stepping in.
Because the tech allows for more integration now.
Partly, yes. Modern tech makes it possible, but also market demands are evolving. Businesses need to be more agile, more integrated. ProcSolve seems to be trying to enable that operational unity.
How do they actually do it, according to the sources?
Well, the materials point to a few things. Integrated teams, the procurement specialists, actually work side by side with their technologists, not in separate departments.
Okay, breaking down internal silos too.
Seems like it. Then the focus on bespoke solutions, like we said, built for unique needs. And ensuring continuous innovation, having a creative team that's constantly working to evolve the brand story, not just doing one-off projects.
It sounds less like just combining services and more like, well, rethinking how efficiency actually happens.
Exactly. Redefining business efficiency, you could say.
And their target customer base seems to fit this idea. The sources mentioned Bangalore tech startups, mid-sized firms needing rapid innovation.
Right. High growth environment.
And the U.S. West Coast SMBs and really competitive tech hubs where agility is everything.
Yeah, it seems they're looking for those forward-thinking companies, the ones who are genuinely tired of the old piecemeal approach and are actively looking for something more unified, more end-to-end.
So if we connect this back to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
it sounds like ProcSolve isn't just trying to compete in the existing market for, say, procurement software or creative agencies. They're trying to carve out a whole new niche, right?
I think that's a fair assessment. By blending that deep procurement expertise with tailored technology and that continuous creative support, they are crafting something different.
It's moving beyond just efficiency.
Definitely. The goal seems to be shifting businesses from being reactive and fragmented to being more proactive, intelligently integrated. Like an ecosystem that can actually anticipate changes, give you real foresight in a market that's, let's face it, pretty unpredictable.
So they're not just selling a service.
They're offering a potentially new way to operate.
Okay, let's quickly recap their key differentiators then, just to crystallize it.
Sure.
First, cost efficiency. That incentivized model tied to actual savings seems pretty compelling.
Measurable ROI, always good.
Second, innovation at the core. Building bespoke AI-driven systems, including those agentic ones, not just off the shelf.
Tailored and future-focused.
And third, unified operations. That dedicated team where procurement, tech, and creative actually work together, breaking down those silos we keep talking about.
Yeah, that integration piece seems central to their whole philosophy.
And this isn't just ProcSolve's opinion, right? The sources mentioned supporting research.
That's right. There was reference to Gartner research, which apparently validates this kind of integrated approach. It backs up the idea that integrated digital procurement solutions drive significant savings and efficiency.
What else did it say?
It also highlighted how combining AI-driven analytics with vendor management is becoming a real game changer. And that companies using sustained, integrated, creative campaigns are better positioned to build those strong, distinctive brand narratives.
So industry insights seem to align with this holistic strategy.
Yeah, it provides some external validation for the approach ProcSolve is taking.
Okay, so to wrap things up a bit, we've really dug into how AI is just transforming procurement at this incredible speed. It's not just hype.
No, definitely not. driven by Gen AI's momentum and now this emerging potential of agentic AI.
And we've looked at how innovative solutions like the one from ProcSolve are trying to tackle these persistent business problems.
Right.
The silos, the fragmented tech, the inconsistent creative.
Right. By offering these deeply integrated bespoke services aimed at real operational unity and that proactive foresight we mentioned.
The different way of thinking about solving business problems.
It is. And maybe this raises an important question for you, the listener, to think about. How might this whole trend, this move towards integrated AI-powered solutions like ProcSolves, how might it not just optimize the processes you have now, but actually fundamentally change the structure of how businesses operate, how they innovate in the next few years?
Moving beyond optimization to structural change.
Yeah, it's a shift from just fixing fragmented operations to building a genuinely unified, intelligent ecosystem. That's the bigger potential, I think.
That's definitely something to mull over. So what stands out to you from today's deep dive? How might these insights connect with your own work or the industries you're keeping an eye on?
Lots to think about.
Indeed. Well, thanks for sharing all those sources and for joining us on this exploration into, well, the future of business operations.
My pleasure. Fascinating topic.